Hello there, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are surviving all this goofy stuff we're having to deal with very well. That hasn't affected me a heck of a whole lot. But here we are at Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement here in sunny Sharpsburg, Georgia. Those of you who might have tuned in earlier, my first video, I was assessing this new project, which is a 1996 Nissan 240 SX. And since that video, we have stripped the wheels and tires, which took a while because they were pretty bad. I even managed to get in there and clean those caliper covers and get those back looking spiffy. Everything's just stripped, no protectant, no tire dressing, none of that stuff is of yet. And then I strip washed this vehicle. Hey Angela, hey baby doll. I love you, Angela. Anyway, some of you might remember this car looked pretty nasty when it rolled in here because it had been sitting out in a driveway for over a year untouched. So even if you didn't see that video, you can just imagine this is an aftermarket paint job and not a very good one at that. But we strip washed it. I did strip washed it. Decontaminated the paint, stripped all the rubber and plastic pieces around everything, got in where the gas tap lid is, stripped the spoiler down there because we've got to restore that, so it's got to be absolutely clean as possible when you get ready to put the restoration finish on it. Stripped the vent cowl, which made it look a lot better, I think. And some of you remember how nasty some of this trim was. It was all spotted up with nastiness and contaminants. And what I did was and I may have to go back with the magic sponge lightly and get the remainder of this off. But what I did was took a very strong cleaner, strong APC foaming cleaner. You guys remember the foam because it cleans. It don't all just run down the side of the vehicle. How you like my special hat there, Miss Angela? That's the one I was telling you about. How about that, huh? But got that pretty clean all the way around, all around the windows, everywhere. So I'd say 85% or better of the surface contaminants and some portion of the bonded contaminants. Remember, it had that black stuff all over it. Not sure what that was. A lot of that came off. I'm going to take the spoiler off in the morning. You know, he said he's going to put a different spoiler on there. He said just take that one off, put it in the trunk. I cleaned up the exhaust tips to some degree. I'll go back and polish on them some. They're a little difficult because they're like that far apart and hard to get to pieces of it. But I stripped that with an acid wash to get rid of a lot of the crap that was on those. I hadn't taken the license plate off yet. I will do that. Yeah, got into all this stuff. Got into all that. I think it came out looking very well, considered all that's been done to it is a strip washed. Made a big difference in the appearance of this thing. I'll tell you. The windows are a lot cleaner now. A good strip wash can do wonders. And what I did to get those contaminants off was use a kind of a coarse, what I call a scrubbing wash mitt, which I don't use unless it's a car that is just really nasty, needs some good scrubbing to get a lot of crap off of it, and you're gonna have to do paint correction anyway. And that's what I do. I think this one I bought at O'Reilly's or somewhere. The soap I used is this stuff, Meguiars Wash Plus. They call it a polishing car wash, which it isn't really. It doesn't polish, trust me, it doesn't, but it does have some very mild abrasives in the soap itself, which helps when you're trying to scrub all this crap off a really nasty paint like this was. And I would never use this on a vehicle unless I was going to be following up there again with some sort of paint correction, because this stuff will leave some micro scratching in your paint. It don't polish it, it just scrubs it, and it's extremely concentrated. I've been using this bottle for months and months and months and months and months. You only, one little strip on your, you put it right on your wash mitt after you get it wet, and one little strip will do the whole hood, and super concentrated. But you don't want to let this stuff dry on your paint. If you dry it on there, you're gonna have to buff, and in direct sunlight you're pretty much stuck with doing like half of the hood at a time, and then rinse it, then the other half, one fender or panel at a time, which I had a little bit of a problem with today. It just slows you down a little bit. I think the roof came out looking way better than it did. Anyway, folks, that's what a car that was nasty looks like after just simply strip washing it down, getting it as absolutely clean as possible using those methods. And in the morning, I'll be going back over it just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then I will start clay barring it. And clay bar, I'll show you all the clay bar in the morning if I remember to. What that does, it removes the rest of the surface and most of the embedded contaminants. And when I say most of an embedded contaminant, what the clay bar does, it shears those contaminants off at the surface, and sometimes will pull the contaminants that are embedded into the paint, pull them out. But at the very least, it shears them off. And then, of course, to get the rest of them, I've already discussed my plan. I'm going to be damp sanding this car with 3000 grit damp sandpaper, not wet sandpaper. Wet dry sandpaper, damp. Is there a difference? It's not quite as aggressive as wet sandpaper, but it will get the job done, I'm pretty sure, on this car, because you always want to start with your least aggressive method first. I'll do a couple test spots, and if that's making it, I will continue around the whole car. If it's not, then I will step down to the next lowest grit sandpaper, and which I may have to do on certain spots anyway. I don't know. You won't know till you get started, particularly on aftermarket paint like this. You really just don't know what you're dealing with till you get into it. But all right, folks, I put all my stuff away. I've texted with Angie a little bit. The car's pretty dry, and I'll be back on this thing in the morning after I get back from the doctor. I got to go for a routine thing in the morning, so I'll race back over here and jump right back on it. I appreciate everybody watching. I'm going in and get dinner started, Miss Angela, or supper, whatever you want to call it. Goodbye, y'all.